What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Just One Podcast. I'm Jordan,
I'm Garrett.
and we have a very special episode for you guys. We are actually in person
We are.
together for the first episode. Garrett is in town with Morgan, and we are actually going to a Brandon Lake concert tonight over in Tampa. So literally right after we get done recording, we're going to be eating breakfast and then getting in the car and heading over to Tampa. So we're going to make a full day out of it. But yeah, we're glad that Garrett and Morgan are here to spend the weekend with us. This is my house in the background. You'll probably see Maddie or Morgan or Murphy walking around in the background a little bit. But yeah, this.
And I'm sure we'll still find some ways to have technical difficulties. So
Yes.
we apologize in advance.
Always will.
They seem to find us.
Yeah. It was weird. I was trying to figure out how we were going to record this in person, because we've never obviously done an in-person recording before, especially on one mic with one camera, and try to work it all together. So that was a difficulty within itself. But today, I guess we'll go ahead and start with good news. I guess I kind of already spoiled our good news. We're going to a concert tonight. And there's my oven.
Good timing.
Yeah, great timing.
The good news is the biscuits are done.
Yes, the good news is the biscuits are done. Breakfast is on its way. But yeah, we're going to the concert tonight. And Garrett, what do you got?
Good news this week. Morgan, Payne, and I got to go see the. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of that comet that's been visible in the sky, but we got to go see it. We went to a place in Huntsville, and it was actually visible. And for once in my life, and a viewing event of an astronomical thing went well. So
Yeah,
I got to see the comet and got to take pictures of it. It actually showed up on my phone. I don't know how. I didn't expect to actually be able to capture it, but we got it. So
yeah, the picture was really cool.
Yeah, it was neat.
I was hoping there would be a rocket launch here sometime this weekend, but
Yeah,
I think there was supposed to be one Friday night, and then it might have got pushed back.
of course.
But
They knew I was coming to town.
we got to catch one last time you were here.
We did.
That was good. Last week I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago, we skipped last week. 2 weeks ago, we did an episode on helping a friend in need, and Garrett came out with a splendid acronym for that called the CARE method. And would you like to summarize?
You don't remember the CARE method? How rude. I do all this yapping over here for nothing. The CARE method is to connect, assess, respond, and encourage.
That's right.
There we go.
There you go. So
CARE, care.
Yeah. But this week we just kind of wanted to do a chiller episode, more relaxed, laid back, kind of have a special episode since we're both here in person, and kind of show you guys and talk to you guys about how we became friends, how we've kind of maintained that friendship through the years, and how that was long distance and with our lives kind of going in two different places. So let's see, we met in high school.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before. I didn't really like Garrett at first, to be honest.
I think we didn't like each other before we even knew each other.
Right.
We just knew of each other.
Right. We didn't really know each other a whole lot. We had actually never really talked before, and we didn't really like each other.
Why do you think that is? Is that just because just dudes? You know,
Yeah.
like anytime you're like all the dudes that are listening, you know, when you meet or like know of a guy and you like they can even remotely compete with your social hierarchy, you're like, all right, that guy sucks.
Yeah.
Even though he's probably just like you.
Yeah.
That's even more the reason for you to be like, yeah, that guy sucks. I don't know why you guys like him or whatever. But maybe that was what was going on with Jordan and I. We're both coming into high school at Mosley and similar in a lot of ways. So you tend to butt heads as dudes. Girls, I think girls eat that up. I don't know, man. I guess I can't speak on that, but I figure that when girls are similar, they tend to pair up and be good friends. Dudes, it's like, $2
Yeah.
hit each other. So
Trying to win over. But we didn't really have a choice of hanging out with each other or not. We played baseball together. We were with each other every single day because of baseball. And I think our friendship really kind of grew through that. We're on the same team, so it's like eventually you're going to have to trust this person.
Yeah. Well, be honest, dude. Our friendship grew because we both sat the bench. Okay. Listeners, make no mistake.
We spent a lot of time together.
We were warming up the outfielders, and running to get buckets of balls, and going to tell pitchers to get warmed up. So we spent a lot of time together sitting the bench.
Yeah.
Don't let Jordan hold that part out.
And still somehow getting yelled at.
Yes.
While being on the bench.
Yes. Yes, man. I'll never forget. I don't know if Coach Harless listens to this, but when were we at Clay County?
I will never forget that game.
Clay County, when something made him mad, and Jordan and I were sitting on the bench, and Coach Harless, I think he got fed up with the way we were playing and took a helmet and tossed it, and it bounced off Jordan and I both, and that was when we became close friends, because we looked at each other and said, "Don't say a word."
Yep.
Or we're both going home in stretchers.
Yep.
And that's all love to Coach Harless. It was a hilarious moment that gave us something to laugh about even today. But yeah, so we bonded because we were in the exact same spot.
That was. I forget those years.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were still on JV, but. Kind of
tweener.
Yeah, kind of crossing over into varsity a little bit.
Yeah.
Got to travel with the varsity team, and
it was humbling because we were dominant on JV.
Yeah.
If I may say, I mean, we were dominating the county on JV, and then we would get pulled up to varsity, Jordan and I, as just fillers and backups, and we're both like, okay, well, did we get any dinner or anything? Because we just played a full game.
Yeah, so, what are we having for dinner?
Yeah, I know you guys are starting, but so anyways, that was a fun, busy, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then from there, I think after probably our first 2 years of that,
mm-hmm.
I think we were both we both fed off of each other.
Yeah, we did.
In the aspect of wanting to be out on the field,
mm-hmm.
become, I guess, starters on the team and actually make an impact other than warming up everybody else.
Yeah.
And yeah, we kind of grew closer together through that.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of fed off of each other,
and
pushed each other.
Yeah, we did. And I think that was kind of unlikely, in my opinion, because we play the same exact position.
Yeah.
We both have the same skill set. We're both left-handed throwers, left-handed pitchers, very average velocity, but above average, command and placement and off-speed stuff as a pitcher. And then as hitters and fielders, both first basemen, both capable of playing outfield. But very, very similar profile. So it would have been very easy for us to be directly in competition. And a lot of times we were. But rather than that dividing us, we made it a point for that to bring us closer together, to push each other further. And I think ultimately both of us became better people and baseball players because of that competition.
Yeah.
But we kept it at a level that was still, hey, at the end of the day, we're brothers. We're competing for a spot, yes, but we're not competing, completely against each other. We're competing with each other to get to that spot. So
yeah, and I feel honestly, I never really felt like I was competing against you for a spot. It was we knew no matter what, if we were good enough, Coach Harless was going to find a spot for us on the field.
Yeah.
So whether that be first base or in the outfield, because obviously we were both left-handed and our positions on the field are very limited because of that.
Yep.
So, I think I just think we knew that, if we were hitting the ball good enough, Coach Harless was going to put us in the lineup somehow, some way. So
yeah, that was the way that we framed it. Was we're not there's not one spot that we're both trying to fill.
Right.
It's hey, we're both you and I are both trying to get in the game.
Yeah.
We're trying to do this together. It's us, against whatever whole thing is obstacles holding us back from being good enough to play.
Right.
And when we framed it that way, it made it much easier for us to continue to be friends through that position.
For sure. And we put in a lot of extra time. Like just me and Garrett, like weekends, after practice, after games even.
Yep.
We kept each other accountable and knew that we had the potential, both of us, to make an impact. And so we just wanted to make the most of it.
We did.
And we knew that like high school wasn't going to last forever. Like that team wasn't going to last forever. And we had a special program. Like our high school has a very special baseball program.
Yes,
and
it does.
It's well known, and we wanted to be a part of that success.
Yeah.
And we both knew that. So
and I think both of us being able to, it's a lot more fun when you have somebody else in the grind with you. You know, like doing those after practice in the cage and going on the weekend and stuff to hit or throw or long toss, whatever. You have. I know.
All I remember is us long tossing, dude.
Oh yeah. Even on days you don't want to. Hey Jordan, want to go long toss?
Yep.
Yes.
and that's what made it easier too. Is like having somebody else with you. Is like if you were doing it by yourself, there's nobody else to convince you to go.
Yeah.
On the days that you don't want to.
No, exactly.
And like put in the work. So like, it worked out. We both, like I said, fed off each other and held each other accountable, and we grinded it out through the years.
We did.
And that's how we kind of formed that trust.
We did. And then, and it's not like Jordan and I were the only two on the team that did that. The whole team, we were fortunate. Every year our team was special. The bond we had was special. We all grew up playing together. So there was already good chemistry. But just Jordan and I being in such similar positions had the opportunity to strengthen that friendship. And then, by senior year, both of us were significant contributors, and that was a ton of fun. Just, the experience that came with, we had a new head coach, we had a couple new players on the team that transferred, we played a couple new opponents that year all over Florida. And that was just a lot of fun to get to do that, together as seniors. And, we made it to the state championship, and that didn't go our way, but just the journey of getting to do that progression through school, to get to look back at both Jordan and I, where we started at as freshmen to where we were then was completely almost unrecognizable in terms of our maturity, in terms of our, just development as players and as people. And we still had a long way to go. We both knew that in both aspects, but how far we had come was really cool to see because we got to do that together. So that was a lot of fun.
And you made a good point of like our senior year kind of being different than our first 3 years. And I think it helped prepare us better for like the college baseball field because, we had a new coach our senior year. We had new teammates. We went and played in different places that we had never played before. So, just trying to learn, especially in our senior year, we wanted to make the most of it, obviously, and trying to make those like quick adjustments to the new environment. I think it really prepared us well for college.
Yeah, it did.
Going forward. So
being exposed to any kind of change where you're forced to adapt, I think, is really formative for you.
Yeah.
It helps you to get used to that uncomfortability of being in a new environment, new, variables, whatever else is going on. I think the earlier you get exposed to that, the better.
Right. Yeah. And so like after high school, we actually went and toured the same college.
We did. And we both went to a showcase together. We went to the one in Georgia Southern. So
we went to a lot of different college campuses and toured those together, and we thought that maybe there might be a slight chance that we go to the same school.
Yeah.
I think we were kind of hoping that that's how it would turn out. And that would help to maintain that strong bond and friendship like beyond high school.
Yep.
But obviously we didn't choose to go to the same schools. We went pretty far apart, I would say.
Yeah, we did.
So like it was different, leaving your hometown, obviously, leaving like one of your best friends and like from going and seeing them every single day to once during the holiday season or the summer when you go back home.
Yeah.
You know, how do you think like we were able to maintain that bond throughout that time?
Yeah. And it should be prefaced, like by the time we got to our senior year of high school, like we said, Jordan and I were basically inseparable. I mean, we had a lot of classes together, but even outside that, just the things that we did, extracurricular, and you know the groups that we were hanging around with. You know, we had very similar goals, aspirations, and personalities. So we were very, very close, and so we went from being very close and seeing each other, you know, for a lot of time per day, to, you know, he's down in South Florida and I'm in the middle of Alabama. So we were 10 to 12, we're 10 to 12 hours apart, as far as driving goes. So that's a complete shift, you know. And what I think is funny is we definitely kept up with each other the first year, but we weren't like, it wasn't on a daily basis.
Right.
We weren't like, it wasn't an issue that we were at separate places. I think we kind of knew we both had like goals and aspirations. And when we decided to go separate ways, it was like, all right, like, you know, that's tough. Like I'm losing my best friend, you know, at the time, but like we're both gonna go do some cool stuff. Like let's go see what we can make out of this opportunity. And I think one of the ways that, well, first of all, one of the ways that we were able to maintain a friendship over that time is, I think, when two people are that similar, whenever you know rekindle or like, you know, reach back out and get back together, or like get back like to seeing each other again, you're able to pick up right where you left off because you're both so similar. So Jordan and I have very similar sense of humor. So as soon as we get together, we start cracking jokes, and I mean, then you're right back at it. You know? It's like we're in high school. Never left. Yeah, and we would do that for summers. You know, we would both come back and to Panama City in the summers, and I think that helped us to be able to maintain just getting to, I guess, talk about how that year went for us, and then what we plan to do over the summer to get better. You know, what programs we had, because each of us had a program to execute over the summer, and then like what, you know, kind of our goals were for the next semester. And I think that gave us a good chance to continue building upon a friendship that's driving both of us towards growth.
Right. Definitely. I think, like you said, like with two people who have the same goals and aspirations, it was like, obviously we weren't going to talk every day or even every week, or barely even a couple times a month. But like, you know, I think we both knew that we were going to excel and succeed in whatever we were going after in our college careers and education and baseball wise and all that. So, you know, I think with like the busy schedules, just keeping our heads down and grinding it out, you know? So, but I think it was really like the trust and the accountability that we built in the years that we were in high school, that really, you know, let our friendship maintain throughout those periods of, you know, not talking or hanging out with each other for some time. And then, like you said, just whenever we got back together, it was like never miss a beat. You know, so
anytime we got to hang out. And I think one thing we hadn't even touched on is towards the end of our high school, you know, our time together in high school, we were really pushing each other in our faith too. You know, our senior year, I think we had went on like a, what do we call
it? Like a church camp,
church retreat, you know, type deal. And I think that had you know, moved both of us significantly, just kind of fired us up in our faith. So we were going into our freshman year of college with a good foundation for our faith. And again, that's another thing that helped us to build a friendship in the first place, is that we both were like-minded and trying to be better followers of Jesus and trying to better ourselves that way. We weren't perfect at it and didn't have it figured out, but we still don't. but I think it was the pursuit that, again, it's another commonality where you can meet on the same ground and say, yeah, we're trying to get better at this. And as our senior year, we had a really good experience with that church retreat. And so we went into freshman year of college with a good foundation for our faith. And I think that was good for both of us because we were able to, even from 10 hours away, over time, hold each other accountable and check in and see how each of us were doing. And then when we got back together in the summer, in Panama City, got to be around each other. It was the same way. It's trying to hold each other accountable, but also just checking in with each other. And there were a lot of, we did have a lot of seasons during the time we were in college where we wouldn't talk for a while, but when we got a chance to talk and hang out, like there were some tough seasons that both of us got to be there for each other for.
Right.
Even though we were separated by distance, there were some things that happened in both of our lives that we would reach out to each other and say, "Hey, dude, I need some prayer. Like I don't know what I'm going to do." And that to me was powerful, and that tends to strengthen a bond when you're vulnerable with each other enough to and honest with each other enough to say, like, dude, I need some prayer, or dude, I just need someone to listen right now.
Yep.
And having a brother that's able to do that is really, really cool.
Yeah. I think definitely our faith is what has allowed us to maintain for so long, through the highs and lows of our lives. And I think our college years is really where our faith grew the most, like on our own, obviously.
Yeah.
Like we were both trying to, deepen our faith and helping to spread the gospel like elsewhere other than our hometown. And yeah, I think us to grow individually and then to see where we're at now and like come back together and, try and, do a podcast to like try and help spread like the love of Christ and just try to impact one person. Like it really is a testament to all of the years that, we went through together and obviously long distance. I'm just thankful for those years and where we're at today for sure.
Yeah, me too. And it's funny because I think both of us in our college experience, our faith, it absolutely grew, but it took a winding road to get there.
Yeah,
like both of
definitely.
us, I do remember specifically times in our time in college where both of our faith was a little bit shaky, and we did kind of get away from that and made some decisions that we shouldn't be making on a regular basis. And that was another cool thing about our friendship was we would talk about those, and rather than there being any judgment or being any separation, it was like, all right, let's put our foot down. And like we need to help each other identify the areas where we're kind of slipping and how we can improve that and how we can move forward in a way that's growing both of us, and we're holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
So, because it really is funny, like my early college years, we came off of that church retreat and we went in super fired up.
Yep.
But then, I mean, dude, college life hits you. And it's like, you're still a kid at the end of the day. And you buy into the worldly things. And, I definitely did. And through my conversations with Jordan, I know that he did sometimes as well. And that's, I'm not condoning it, but what I am saying is that, that happens a lot. And being able to have a friend that you can relate to and both of you can respond to that and say, hey, we need to course correct here.
Yeah.
It was really helpful for both of us.
Right. And like, with us in our high school years and especially our senior year, like you said, like having our faith strengthen up to the end of our senior year. And then like with all of our friends and having that bond with each other and trusting each other in our faith, and then going separate ways and trying to handle it on our own.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it really difficult, going into college, trying to find a new church, trying
Mm-hmm.
to fit in, so to speak, with new friends or new groups of people that you're hanging out with. And it feels a little uncomfortable at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, like, with us, it was like we needed a comfortable place that we recognize, and like a
Yeah,
comfortable person that we
that's
recognize
true.
to, like,
Familiarity.
familiarity, to like try and course correct if we
Yep.
needed it,
Yep.
because of the trust and like the accountability that we had with each other. Like, we knew that you were going to give me good advice, I was going to give you
Mm-hmm.
good advice, even though we barely listened to our own advice. But yeah, I think, just to reconnect with somebody who's familiar and knows your faith background
Mm-hmm.
and where you came from and where you were at or are wanting to go, and then trying to course correct, especially during our college years, trying to fit in and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yep.
um,
Absolutely. Yeah. And it was cool too. We got to do an internship together one year
yes,
in Panama City. And that was another way that we got to kind of continue strengthening that bond. We saw each other almost every day at work and then talked to each other every day when we got off. But we still, we would go throw and, go continue to try and better each other. And it helped a lot too. I think that, our families became good friends too. Like our
right,
dads are very similar. So they got the bond. And so we were hanging out in family settings. And,
yep,
whenever you've got families that continue to intertwine like that they all just get along,
mm-hmm.
like you, me, and our dads could hang out, the four of us, and we have, because we just like, we have the same sense of humor. We like to have fun, and it's just cool. And I think that's a pretty unique dynamic. I don't see that happen a ton. And when it does, it's pretty special. So that kind of stuff was really cool. And I think now, post college transitioning, we're both married,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty recent for both of us within the last, year and a half. And getting to do that, even from 10 hours apart, getting to do
Right,
that together and, talk about, how that process was going for Jordan and Maddie. Even when they started dating, I remember, Jordan telling me, like, I met this girl at Bible study, and
yeah.
she might be the one, dude. She might be the one.
And
And,
that was before we'd even gone on a date.
exactly. Exactly. So, just getting to interact on stuff like that, and then then we're all of a sudden we're both engaged, and then all of a sudden you guys are married, and I got to be a part of that wedding, and that was special. And then Morgan and I are getting married, and Jordan gets to be a part of that wedding. So, being able to maintain that, to me, that's when I started to realize that it was kind of impressive.
Yeah,
In my opinion, that, not to brag on ourselves, but like, I mean, because
we did pretty good at this.
we did. So Morgan and I got married in March of 24. We graduated high school in, what was that, May of 16?
Yep.
That's almost 8 years.
Yep.
Of being 10 plus hours apart for the good majority of every year. And Jordan was in my wedding as one of my groomsmen. I was in Jordan's wedding as one of his groomsmen. And to me, that was really, really cool to see, because I think when people move away from high school or their hometown in general, I do think you seldom see them hold on to those friendships.
Yep.
And for us to be able to have maintained that one to the point where we got to be a part of each other's weddings, and Jordan's got a baby girl coming up, and I'm going to get to be a part of that, and just continuing to maintain that friendship throughout the rest of our lives as best we can is, in my opinion, is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
because that's tough to do.
Very very tough. I think it's really cool to see, like, when we were younger, seeing our friends and like our families grow that bond together. And now, as we start to grow our own families, obviously, although we're not right down the road from each other like we were growing up, our families are going to grow together in a sense.
They will.
And, I know that even though our families are growing, that like we're still going to maintain the friendship and the bond that we've had, throughout our lives. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's been one of the fun side benefits of doing a podcast.
Yeah.
We get to, hang out and shoot the breeze once a week and just goof off. And, it's cool that we've prayed about it, and the Lord has led us to do something like this. But even just as friends, it's been cool to just get to be bros.
Yeah, it allows us to like catch up like
It
once
does,
a week.
yeah. We check in.
Not go too long without talking to each other.
Yes.
Let each other know what's going on in our lives, and even if it's the small things, like, dude, something in my house broke this week. I had to fix it. I had to figure out how to fix it. Watched like 50 million YouTube videos, and they all said different things on how to fix it, and like, just little things like that. It still feels like we are like right down the road from each other.
Yeah, it does. It makes it feel that way.
So it's cool, and it is impressive. I will agree with you. It's been very impressive.
Yeah, so, it is. It's funny to watch our catch-ups change. Like, 4 years ago, we were like, yeah, dude, I gave up a bomb the other day. We're like, dude, I suck this game or whatever, and now we're like, yeah, man, I got a house project to do.
Yep. And oh, by the way, I'm having a daughter.
Yeah, I'm having a daughter, and then I'm over here, I'm cutting the grass, man. And, we're going to a wedding next weekend. It's just funny to watch the catch-ups progress into different stages of life, and eventually we'll be like, yeah, I got a grandkid on the way. So just really, really cool.
Yeah, the responsibilities, and then also like the things that we worried about. Yeah, growing up, like.
Yes. That's such a good point.
It is. It has been really cool and noticeable. Like, back in the day, we were like, dude, I can't. Like, I'm dealing with such and such like class, or somebody in history said something about me that I didn't really agree with. And
what is my outfit going to be to pep club tonight?
Right. Dude, we need to go to the store so we can get outfits for the volleyball game.
Yeah.
Or and now it's like, hey man, like how are you dealing with your finances?
Yeah.
What are you doing to?
What's your 401k?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean though, because it's like we're obviously our responsibilities and our worries have shifted, but throughout it all, it's like we still help each other through those times and like those struggles and the things that we worry about. So it has been kind of cool to see those shifts. And like as men of Christ, like trying to live up to the standard of what a godly man and husband looks like, and a family member, and it's cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it has been a lot of fun. Those are tough things to navigate. Right? Yeah. So trying to navigate them with a friend who is separated by distance is difficult, and it makes you really be intentional about, like you said, keeping up and catching up every week and making sure that we're not just hopping on here yapping and then hopping off,
which we do a lot.
Yeah, and sometimes that's okay, but continuing to build on that and just be dudes, be bros.
Yeah. I can't imagine what this conversation will look like in like 10 years from now.
Yeah. You're right.
So
that'll be funny. And it's cool. I'm happy to see that, because both of us, we had a lot of fun. We made our high school experience a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We just did stupid, goofy stuff and, made it a lot of fun. And it's really cool for me to sit here now, 8 years later and say, I would love to go relive some of those times, but I'm also so happy with the life that, that the Lord has crafted around me and that the Lord has crafted around you, and that we've had the opportunity to build our lives up in such a way where that wasn't the best, of our lives, and it wasn't the best part of our friendship. It's gotten better. I think that's something that really takes a lot of work, and I in my opinion, again, not a lot of people can say it's just our friendship didn't peak when we were hanging out with each other every day. We have grown, and our friendship is stronger and it's better, and both of our lives have grown to a point where we have a lot of opportunities to make impacts and have influence and be successful in the endeavors that we've set out before ourselves. So that makes me happy to see that, we have lives that we are actively enjoying living because of the way that we tried to set ourselves up, even starting back then. We had goals and aspirations. We envisioned this kind of life for ourselves and, for our friendship. I don't think we foresaw being 10 plus hours apart.
No.
But in high school, we did envision being married and having a healthy marriage and trying our best every day to be, ambassadors of Christ. And it's cool to see that has played out. I think our high school selves will be proud of where we're at right now.
I think they would be. And this podcast is like just a culmination and testament to all those years. We've grown that bond, maintained that bond throughout this whole time. And for us to want to impact and hold each other accountable through those years. And I think one of our main motivations for this entire podcast was to help keep others accountable. And just kind of keep a relationship with our audience, like we talked to some of you guys, and it's been really cool to see what you guys are going through, and try to help keep you accountable and
keep ourselves accountable.
Yeah, for sure. That's been the most important, is like, I think I would argue that we're probably keeping each other more accountable.
Absolutely.
More now than we were like in college.
Yep.
I think it's been cool to see. So
yeah.
You got anything else?
No, I was gonna say it makes me crawl to sit here and talk about ourselves the whole time.
Yeah,
Jordan and I don't like that, but it was just too cool of an opportunity not to. I've seen Jordan once a year now, and that's at best.
Yep.
So for us to have the opportunity just to be together when we're doing this podcast, who knows what a year from now looks like, and if we'll even get to hang out within the next year. So we thought it'd be a really cool opportunity just for us to kind of reflect on the past 8 year or 10 plus years of being friends, how that's developed over time, and how we've managed to make that friendship not only work but strengthen. Over the time of being separated by, I don't even know how many miles. A lot. So we appreciate you guys listening to us yap about ourselves. We won't do it again. Yeah, we don't like to do it, but this time it was too cool of an opportunity not to reflect on that. So we couldn't miss out on it. Yeah. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to do that. We appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. So we'll go ahead and close it out. We hope you guys took something away from this somehow. We hope you guys have somebody that you have that bond and can keep each other accountable, and realize how special something like that is in a lifetime. Not everybody gets that opportunity and has somebody that shares in goals and aspirations and can keep you accountable through your ups and your downs. So hope you guys took something away from it. Hope it made you laugh. Hope it made you smile. Now it's your turn. Go impact just one person. See ya.